So, hello, welcome to the talk. Today's talk is called How to Realize You Are Not a Person and Everyone and Everything is You. How to realize you're not a person and everyone and everything is you. This is a how-to video. Yeah. So Ramana Maharshi and Nisargadatta Maharaj and lots of other teachers, their how-to, even though they're very clear that the how-to, the person that is doing something is actually an illusion, but they would often state it in the way that, well, you feel like you're their illusion, and you feel like you want to practice, then the practice they recommend is the resting in the feeling of the I am. That is always the practice. And I recently discovered, which was surprising to me, that Ramana Maharshi's Who Am I practice ultimately is prescribed in order to rest in the feeling of I am. So you ask the question, who am I, to get to what he would call the I, the big I, or the feeling of I, or the feeling of I am, and rest there. And they would say that it's better than any other meditation technique because you're resting in the very source of what you are, where everything else you do is in meditation is resting your attention on an object or on a word, like a mantra or breath. They would advise you not to do that. They would advise you to rest in the I am. But I feel like if you find that you have a meditation practice that really works and helps settle down the person, then I would stick to that. But their theory is that you're resting right at the place where the person starts. And what begins to happen through time, or through the appearance of time, in actuality it's just happening in stillness, is it stops being a practice, it stops being someone practicing it. So there's not somebody that is resting the attention in the I am. There is simply the big I, or beingness. And then there is a merging with the beingness and the consciousness. And then there is truth, reality. There is the recognition of what you are beyond everything in this world. So that would be their how-to. It was actually a practice that I did. I didn't realize until recently that the who am I practice was the same as resting the attention in the I am, as Nisargadatta Maharaj suggested. So I never realized that I was doing what Ramana Maharshi recommended. But my teachers always recommended that, and it felt very natural to do, to rest in the feeling of the I am. And they would go on to say, if you can't feel the I am, then you rest in the words of I am, and eventually that will drop down into the feeling. So you just keep asking, who am I? And evoking the words, I am, and then eventually there is resting in the I am, and then there stops being someone resting in the I am. It just becomes the natural way of being, and it stops being subject-object, that there is somebody experiencing the world. So that is the only how-to in non-duality that's generally recommended, is resting in the feeling of I am. Some teachers recommend resting in awareness or resting in consciousness, the personal consciousness. That never really resonated for me, so I don't suggest it. But you have to really find what resonates for you. And the goal of all of this, if you're new to non-duality, the goal is the end of division. And this is freedom, the end of division. The end of being separate from everything that is. The end of being separated from the sky, the clouds, the trees, the walls, the window. And this is freedom. To not be separated from what's happening. And it's not you that's not separated. There's this discovery that you doesn't exist. The you is an illusion. And there is something beyond that you. There's something that's experiencing that you. There's something that you appears in. What is that? Nice. So maybe that's the end of the introduction today. If you want to join these talks live, then you can find out how to do that on my website under live stream and join the Telegram community. Nice. Yeah, thank you to those on YouTube. I really, really, really wish you everything. Not one or two or three things, but every God blessed thing.